Incirlik Air Base is one of the United States' most strategic military bases outside its own territory, located in southern Turkey. The facility holds significant geopolitical significance in the security dynamics of the Middle East. The base has long been a symbol of military cooperation between the United States and Turkey, a relationship rooted in shared defense interests within the Western Alliance. Operationally, the base is used by both the United States Air Force and the Turkish Air Force, making it a unique and complex bilateral military facility. As part of the NATO defense structure, Incirlik plays a crucial role in the collective security system, strengthening the alliance's position on the southeastern flank of Europe and near-conflict zones. In recent decades, the base has served as a logistical support hub for various military operations in Iraq and Syria, enabling a rapid response to regional security dynamics. However, recent escalating tensions in the Middle East have raised questions about its security, and a series of attacks on American interests in the region have re-examined the risks posed to the base. Geographically, Incirlik is not located in an active war zone, providing a strategic advantage due to its relative distance from the front lines of direct conflict. However, in the context of modern warfare, distance is no longer an absolute guarantee of security. The threat of long-range missiles and armed drones has changed the risk calculation. Tensions between the United States and Iran are often cited as a factor increasing regional risks, with any major escalation potentially expanding the threat spectrum. However, to date, there have been no reports of direct attacks on Incirlik in the latest wave of conflict, and base operations continue as usual. The security of military bases like these is designed with a layered system. Defense relies not only on fences and patrols, but also on detection and rapid response systems. Internal security involves joint American and Turkish personnel, and bilateral coordination is key to maintaining security within the base's perimeter. Furthermore, Turkey, as the host nation, has a direct interest in maintaining the stability of the facility. Base security also means safeguarding its sovereignty and national stability. However, the political dynamics between Ankara and Washington have sometimes fluctuated. Past diplomatic tensions have sparked talk of reviewing military cooperation. Nevertheless, this cooperation remains resilient, as both countries understand the base's strategic value to their mutual interests. In the context of regional threats, the greatest risk is usually not a large-scale conventional attack. Asymmetric threats often become the primary concern. Drone attacks, sabotage, or actions by regional militant groups are more realistic scenarios. Therefore, securing intelligence becomes crucial. The United States has a sophisticated surveillance network and early warning system in the region, which helps minimize the potential for strategic surprises. On the other hand, Turkey also has a domestic interest in maintaining its internal security, and stability around Adana is part of its national security policy. Another factor that makes Incirlik relatively safe is its position as a NATO member. An attack on it could potentially have major diplomatic implications. The international consequences of a direct attack on the base would be far-reaching, a consideration for any actor seeking escalation. In modern military strategy, deterrence often outweighs offensive power. The existence of defense systems and alliances serves as a deterrent. While rhetorical threats sometimes appear in the media, the reality on the ground is often different. Security stability is usually maintained through diplomacy and rational calculation. Every regional conflict has its own limits of escalation, and many countries are cautious about dragging third countries into open conflict. Incirlik often serves as a symbol of the American presence in the region, and therefore also a symbol of geopolitical sensitivities. However, symbols don't always equate to practical targets. In many cases, regional actors choose easier targets with less risk of major retaliation. In recent years, improvements in air defense technology have strengthened the security of critical military facilities, making modernization of defense systems a priority. In addition to external threats, internal security is also a concern, with strict monitoring of access and personnel. A multi-layered security system ensures that any potential threats are detected early, and the U.S. military security standards abroad are considered high. The socio-political environment in Turkey also influences the stability surrounding the base. The relatively stable domestic situation helps maintain the security of the facility. Despite conflicts in parts of the Middle East, Turkey itself is not currently engaged in open warfare, reducing the immediate risk. However, risk is never truly zero. Every strategic military installation is always on the list of potential targets in any conflict scenario. Contingency planning is usually in place for various scenarios, and personnel evacuations and defense reinforcements can be implemented if necessary. In situations of regional escalation, the U.S. military often increases its alert status, a preventative measure. Base security also encompasses cross-border intelligence cooperation, with threat information being rapidly shared between allies. For Turkey, maintaining relations with the United States remains crucial despite policy differences, which impact its national security. As long as alliances and communication between nations remain intact, stability can be maintained, and deterrence remains effective. In a world full of tensions, security is not a static state. It is a process that is constantly being renewed and strengthened. Incirlik today stands as a symbol of the balance of power and international cooperation, and for now, that symbol remains secure but alert.